going on, everybody, and welcome back to the 444 Philly Fan Podcast. The Sixers get the huge W right after the All-Star break against the Memphis Grizzlies. What a win. What a win. It was such a team win. Tobias Harris, 20 points. Tyrese Maxey, 16 points. Joel Embiid, 27 points. James Harden, 31 points. You look at the points aspect of basketball, and yes, all of our players scored the basketball for once. But it was just truly a team effort. You had, normally you see Tobias Harris score his 13 to 15 in the first half, and then it'll disappear. You usually see James Harden score for the first three quarters, and then take it a little bit, take a step back, in that fourth quarter and pass the ball to Embiid a lot more. Well, it wasn't like that last night. It was not like that because Joel Embiid, who, was playing through an illness, came out and was awful. I mean, there's really not much else to really say about that. He was downright awful. 1 of 13 to start the game from the field. His only field goal was a dunk. It was just bad. It was bad, and you could tell that he was sick. You could tell that he was moping around, and, he was really picking it up defensively. He had a couple big blocks early in the game. He had that block on Ja Morant. If you want to jump with Ja, you get ready for a highlight. Well, the highlight is on our end because we'll be watching that Joel Embiid dunk for the rest of the season. So, that's all I got to say about that. But, Joel Embiid was, again, he was terrible in the first half. You had his one dunk. You had him playing good defense and rebounding the ball good. He had 11 rebounds at the end of the first half, but he didn't even have 10 points. Comes out in the second half, knocks down his mid-range jump shots that he normally does, and you could kind of feel that he was, feeling a little bit better as the game went on. And, he finished with 27 points after, not even scoring 10 in the first half. And that is a bad night for Joel Embiid. 27 points is a bad night for Joel Embiid, which is just crazy to think about. But, he had 27, 19, 6, and 6. He had 6 blocks, 6 assists, 19 rebounds, and 27 points, and got the W. So that's really, what we needed from Joel Embiid was his defensive presence because, we don't really have a lot of defense as it is. Like, we're not the greatest defensive team. And at least when you have Joel Embiid, really putting his effort defensively when you know that he is going to have a bad offensive night, at least from his standards, he kind of felt like, all right, like I might not be effective offensively, but at least let me play really, really good defense like I have, most of my career. And that's exactly what he did. And with that, James Harden, 31 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. And you saw the hustle from James Harden late in the game, jumping on the ground, diving on the ground for a loose ball, passing it up to Embiid for the slam to put us up by 3 with about a minute, with about like 30 seconds left, 38 seconds left. I mean, James Harden has been a lot better as of late. And, he was disrespected this year, not being an all-star. And, he's been a 10-time, 11-time all-star in his career. He's usually there every single year as a starter, let alone a player that comes off the bench in the all-star game. And the fact that he wasn't even an all-star at all, maybe that puts a little chip on his shoulder saying, like, yo, like, they want to disrespect me? Okay, but, it's my time. Like, I got to show them what I still have left. I'm gonna make them regret that decision to not let me go into that All-Star game, thinking that I'm not one of the best, 25 players in the league, because that's basically what you're saying. He comes out of the game, starts it off with an and-1-3, his signature step back, between the legs, step back 3 and 1 on Brandon Clark. And, he was money from 3, 6 of 9 from 3. He had a couple, layups. He made a couple mid-range shots. And, finishing with 31 points on a night where Joel Embiid was sick, on a night where Joel Embiid was not feeling it offensively, at least for the first half, James Harden really stepped up. And 31, 7, and 7. That's a low assist game for James Harden. 7 assists, he usually gets that in the first half. But players need to know their roles, and when one guy goes down or one guy isn't feeling it, the next guy has to step up, and that's exactly what James Harden did last night. Tobias Harris, though, man, we as Sixers fans, we all know that Tobias Harris is, night and day. He's either really good or he's like really bad or he's non-existent. Yesterday, he made his moment. I mean, he had 3 threes in that fourth quarter. One of them to put us within one. One of us to put us on top. And, Tobias Harris had 20 points. So, when you look at it like that, Joel had 27. Maxey had 16. Tobias had 20. James Harden had 31. That is a team win against a very good team in the West, who's second in the Western Conference. So now we have beaten the number 1 and number 2 teams and number 3 teams in the Western Conference all season long. We haven't lost. We might have lost to the Grizzlies in the beginning of the season, but it was a very good team win. And we got that win off of the back of James Harden. But not only that, off of Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and Tyrese Maxey. And P.J. Tucker. Great defensively. We all know what P.J. Tucker brings to the court, and that is defense and rebounding. And he did exactly that. He was playing good defense on Desmond Bane after Bane dropped 21 in the first quarter. He was playing good defense on Dillon Brooks, who is so annoying. Dillon Brooks, I don't get it. I don't know why he acts like a tough guy. He's not. He's kind of terrible at basketball. But, Dillon Brooks is just a clown, if you ask me. He's just a goof. But whatever. I digress from that because Dillon Brooks is not worth, getting me riled up on a Sixers pod. But man, it was such a fun-ish win. Towards the end, it was fun. In the beginning, my God, I've never sat there through so many whistles in my life. And, that game was like 2 hours and 45 minutes long. Like, that was just insane. And you had free throw after free throw from both sides. Both sides shot the same amount of free throws. It was like 36 free throws apiece. So it was crazy, and man, a lot of whistles in this one. It was still a very good game. They kind of let them play at the very end. James Harden diving on the ground. Sometimes you see that and, you call a foul, you blow the whistle. At the very, very end of the game, Tobias Harris is getting double teamed. He's getting like hit. And they don't blow the whistle until there's an actual foul on Jaren Jackson. And then that's when Dillon Brooks comes in and tries to act like a tough guy and, push Embiid and push Tobias and push Harden. He was doing it all game. He's a pest. And every time he does that, the Grizzlies seem to lose. So keep doing it, dude. You did it to Donovan Mitchell. You lost. You did it to us. You lost. You've been doing it all season. But it was just a great win. It was a great win, especially after, you come back from the All-Star break on a 4-game win streak. You continue it, and you're now at 5. But these next 5 games, man, Celtics, Heat, Mavs, and Bucks, this is what's going to, show us Sixers fans who the Sixers are truly are. And, it's going to come down to that. And I hope that the Sixers can get the win against the Celtics because that's the biggest game. Of these next 5, of the 6, when you add the Grizzlies, the Celtics game is by far the biggest one. If you beat the Celtics, you're now 2.5 back instead of 3.5 back. Who knows what happens with the Bucks if Giannis is playing. You have a real shot at this number 1 seed, but you have to beat the Boston Celtics, and we play them twice down the stretch. And, we have a very hard schedule outside of this 6 games, let alone the 6 games that we play right after All-Star break. So it's not going to be easy, but we will definitely see who the Sixers are by the end of this season, regular season at least. And, we're going to see what happens. But with that being said, Thank you all so much for watching. Sixers get the dub 110-105 against the Memphis Grizzlies. James Harden goes for 31, 7, and 7. Joel Embiid with a monster night, 27, 19, 6, and 6. And Tobias Harris making 2 big threes down the stretch to help us get the W. But thank you all again for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for all Sixers, Eagles, Phillies, and Flyers news. And I am out. Peace.